Okay, so inside this video, I want to share why people over 40 years old should avoid their traditional keto diet. There are many different ways to do it. Plus, I want to share a one-day hormone resetting alternative that people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s can use to still get all the amazing rapid fat loss and therapeutic benefits of these ultra low-carb diets like the keto diet without suffering through the negative hormonal side effects. Now, you can learn all about this one-day alternative by going over to my website. You're going to see all kinds of published research over there. So you know everything I talk about is backed up by published scientific studies. Now, my name is Sean Hatzel. I'm a 47-year-old stubborn fat expert. One thing that I have learned after 25 years of being in the health and fitness industry is that people who are over 40 years old must diet and eat differently than younger people because our current hormonal condition is much different. And I'm going to teach you how to overcome these hormonal obstacles. The first step is fat adaptation or becoming fat adapted. And this is what the keto diet is famous for because you cut out all carbs, you only eat 5% carbs, you eat 75% friendly fats and 20% protein. Now, when you do this for about 3 to 7 days in a row, what ends up happening is your body switches gears and it stops relying on glucose from carbs as a fuel source and it starts using ketones from friendly fats as a fuel source, and this is known as becoming fat adapted. However, if you're over 40, you're going to go through the keto flu, you're going to get the brain fog, you're going to get the insomnia, you're going to get the headaches, you're going to get constipation. I had stomach cramps and actually had the runs when I tried it for 3 or 4 days. So there's a simple way to overcome this, and you can become fat adapted without being in true ketosis. You just have to time your meals the right way. So using things like intermittent fasting and simply timing your meals the right day, just the right way, 3 or 4 days per week, you can actually increase growth hormone levels up to 1,200%. Now you also coax your body into releasing more adrenaline and glucagon. Both of these hormones are responsible for releasing stored fat into your bloodstream where it can be delivered to working muscles and be burned off. Now that's a much more complex process than that, but that's just a simplified way of how to shrink a fat cell. And you can do this through strategic meal timing. Step number 2 is macro rotation. So by rotating your macronutrients every other day the right way, you can also take control of a couple other very important hormones. Now, we do this through strategic meal combinations. So simply by combining your meals the right way that I teach you over at my website, you take control of insulin. Remember, any type of food that you eat increases insulin. But if you eat the wrong combinations, you spike insulin higher and faster than other meals. And in the presence of insulin, it's impossible for your body to access stored fat as a fuel source. So by combining your meals the right way, you keep insulin stable. This keeps the body in a fat-burning environment. And you also optimize your T4 to T3 conversion, your thyroid. Now remember, your thyroid gland is the master gland of your metabolism. It regulates your body weight. It controls the speed of your metabolic rate. Now, glucose from carbs is actually a primary building block of TSH, thyroid-stimulating hormone. So if you don't strategically put glucose in your diet the right way and you're over 40 years old, you're going to suppress your thyroid hormones. So by combining your foods the right way and eating the right types of carbohydrates with other macronutrients using strategic food combinations, you actually can increase your T4 to T3 conversion and optimize your thyroid hormone. Step number 3 is the most fun, and this is hormone optimization. The first 2 are obviously going to help you optimize hormones, but there's one hormone in particular that's very important. It's known as the master fat-burning hormone, and that is leptin. And by using a strategic high-carb glucose-based cheat meal once or twice per week at the right times, you reset your body's leptin sensitivity. You see, science and research shows that it only takes about 7 days of low-carb dieting before leptin levels can suppress up to 50%. So now you can see why it's so important to strategically have a high-carb cheat meal at the right time every week. Now, I teach you exactly how to put all this together into one system, and I call it the Over 40 Hormone Reset Diet. You can learn all about it by clicking or tapping the link around this video. But don't click it or tap it yet. Let me quickly cover how you can put these 3 things into your own diet and meal plan. So the first thing to notice is that Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I have labeled as keto days. So these are gonna mimic the ketogenic diet. And this is gonna get you fat adapted without actually going into true ketosis. So on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, fats are gonna be up and carbs are gonna be down. Now, you wanna include a protein in every meal that you eat if you're over 40, because protein is the one and only macronutrient shown in scientific research to elevate the metabolism and to help you burn more calories because it has a higher thermic effect. So when you eat protein, your body burns more calories digesting that protein than it does digesting fats or carbohydrates. So by consuming protein in every meal, you keep insulin stable and you boost the metabolism and burn more calories. Now, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, you're gonna see macro rotation days. So this is rotating your macronutrients. Now, when you do this, this is all about your combination. So you want to keep fats down and carbs up. So you're going to eat a little more carbs on these days, and you're just going to keep your fat intake lower. And when you do this, you're adding the glucose into your system that your body needs to adequately produce thyroid hormones. Now, the last day, and you can swap this with Saturday if you wanted to, is the refeed and cheat day. So this is a day that you want to just have as a flex day. You don't want to binge or you don't want to go crazy, but you do want to have 1 or 2 high-carb strategic cheat meals or just strategic high-carb meals, and this will help reset your body's leptin sensitivity. So hopefully you got something out of this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button, share the love. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, make sure that you do so below so that you get notifications when I post content videos like this. And as always, time is our most precious commodity. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day to check this out. I also want to share that this is all just advice. If something works for you, use it. So thanks for watching, and God bless.